There's 7 things I do to keep a six-pack year round whilst eating dessert every night. If you're watching this, chances are you don't just want to get into the best shape of your life. You want to figure out how to stay in great shape without too much effort. I like to call this a sweet spot. You look great, you feel great, and you perform great. And it's easy. In the past 2 years, I've cracked the code of staying lean effortlessly after nearly a decade of failing. This is all whilst balancing family life, running a business, and of course, eating dessert every night. The good thing is, what I'm about to share with you can apply for weight loss and weight maintenance. They're also key to so many of the 4,000 plus success stories we've produced at RNT Fitness. If you nail these 7, you won't need to use calorie tracking apps, sit down to work out diet plans, or ever feel restricted with your food again. And when you get to number 5, you'll understand exactly why. So let's dive in. Number 1, I rarely think about what I'm going to eat. I eat the same thing most days for convenience. This sounds crazy if you've never tried it, but revolutionary once you do. The reason this works so well is because you kill decision fatigue. When you're busy at work, with kids, and just balancing all the different priorities in life, the last thing you want to be asking is, should I eat chicken or tofu? Should I eat at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m.? It's all automated, so you can focus on things which actually matter in your life. Finding the thing you can repeat daily will take some trial and error. You want to find foods which make you feel good, digest well, and are generally easy to prepare. Number 2, I'm vegan, so it's not always easy traveling or eating at restaurants, but I can always control how much I put in my mouth. I apply this mindset to any social travel situations. Chances are you're not a fitness freak, so you have a bit of a life where you go to restaurants, bars, and on holiday. So when you're not in your regular routine or environment, where you might have your staples identified in point 1, you'll need to apply the mindset of controlling how much you can put in your mouth. This is how I've been able to keep the shape I want despite spending 6 months of the last 18 traveling places which aren't vegan friendly at all, like safaris in South Africa where they think chicken is vegetables. Number 3, I pre-plan all my workouts. I know exactly when and where I'll train, and then I make it a non-negotiable appointment myself. No exceptions. Depending on the priority, I'll rotate between bodybuilding, Muay Thai, or running, and lock it in the diary. I'll then make things easy by having my bag ready in advance and laying out clothes in specific places so I'm not wasting time later on. Number 4, I build my favourite foods and treats into my daily diet. I've always had a sweet tooth and I love dark chocolate, so rather than restrict myself, I eat one dark chocolate dessert every night when I'm home. If I'm travelling, I'll pick something else I fancy. This mousse made of dark chocolate and silk and tofu is an absolute game changer. One of the biggest breakthroughs for me was getting rid of my all or nothing mindset with food. Back in the day, I'd either be on it or off it, with no real middle ground. So I do the weekly pre-planned cheat days, the crazy buffets, and constantly feeling like I was either on plan or blowing it. Breaking this, ironically, allows you to have the best of both worlds, without any of the bloat or guilt that comes with it. Number 5, the key word is always 1. I put 1 Oreo on top of my evening mousse. 1, not the pack. There are no bad foods, only excessive amounts. When you're trying to lose weight, you want as many high volume foods as possible because it helps keep you satiated. 400 calories of fried food looks and feels very different in your stomach to 400 calories of fibrous foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. But once you get in shape, you can introduce more and more variety, including a delicious dessert every night. The key, again, is to make it 1. By the way, the reason 1 can feel so hard after you've been through a weight loss phase is because when you create massive physical change, it takes a long time for your psychology to catch up. If you're 100 kilos and you go down to 70 kilos, your brain will still be thinking like a 100 kilo person. It's a 100 kilo brain in a 70 kilo body. That 30 kilo identity gap takes a long time to close. And when you don't have the prize or the goal of a photo shoot or a weight loss deadline, it's easy to let things slip off. The only way to bridge the gap is to create a new identity. But this isn't easy with decades of bad habits luring you in for a quick dopamine rush. The problem is, one too many of these bad habits creeping back in, and it's a death by 1,000 cuts right back to the start line. Fighting the devil on your shoulder, so to speak, and winning time after time is the only way to create a new identity that overpowers the old. And the only way to do this is to raise the standards of your lifestyle. Staying in shape means doing things at a higher level than you were doing before. You can't go back to mindless snacking, 3,000 steps a day, and 10 pints at the pub without imploding again. This rewiring process takes 3 years to bed in after you first get in shape. I wish it could be done earlier, but it's rarely the case. And the more mental and emotional scars that led to the weight gain in the first place, the longer this process takes. At RNT Fitness, having members stay with us for 4, 5, 6, and even 7 years has helped us validate this in the real world. If you want to see if you're ready to go on a transformation journey, try our free transformation quiz where you'll be scored on the 3 keys required for long-term success. As a bonus, you'll also receive a free copy of our best-selling book where I walk you through the exact 5-phase methodology you can use to not only get in shape, but stay in shape. Simply go to www.rntfitness.com/transform or hit the link at the top of the description below. Let's jump back in. Number 6, I do what I want and know what I enjoy, so I don't feel pressure to eat, drink, or indulge if I don't want to. My whole life is built around my 3 priorities: my business, my physical health, and my immediate family. I don't do much else. If you're in a toxic relationship, doing a job you hate, or really struggle with saying no to things you don't like doing, you're going to find it difficult to stay in shape long term. Without purpose and passion in life, we can easily seek comfort in food, drugs, and alcohol. Without meaning to our work, we can use these crutches to take the edge off and help us get through the day, often without realizing. Anytime I've lost control of my body weight, it's been a sign of losing control in other parts of my life, or being out of alignment with my priorities. In 99% of the people we work with, fixing this, with building a new identity, makes weight maintenance simple. When you nail this, the idea of having a pack of Oreos goes out the window, as it just doesn't fit with the new person you've become. Number 7, you want to have a bodyweight range that feels effortless to maintain. For me, this is 76 to 78 kilos, or 168 to 172 pounds at 5'10". And this range will require a bit of trial and error, and it must be a range you look, feel, and perform at your best with zero food focus or feelings of restriction. If you get into true shredded condition after weight loss, about 10 to 15% above your lowest is what I found to work well. Anything lower and food focus tends to be too high, and it feels too much work to maintain. Anything higher, and you probably won't look as good and/or may start feeling a bit sluggish. It's person dependent, and I've seen people need to go as high as 20% above their lowest to look, feel, and perform at their best. Having all 3 is key, and in almost all cases, the limiting factor is not letting go of your leanest look. I'm shredded at 69 to 70 kilos, but if I was to stay at that weight, I'd be miserable. I still look good at 76 to 78 kilos, even if not as lean, but the compromise means I feel great, have lots of energy, and perform well cognitively in my day-to-day tasks and in my workouts. I also like a range here as opposed to a specific weight, so you avoid day-to-day or week-to-week scale fluctuations getting in your way. For reasons which go beyond the scope of this particular video, your weight will never be the same every day, so if you try and nail a specific number, you just end up frustrated. Having a range keeps you in check and serves as a good benchmark for how well your day-to-day behaviors and daily habits are working. So that's a wrap on the 7 things I do to stay in great shape year-round. Most of the 7 took me years to develop because after I first got in shape in 2014, I realized the harsh truth. Getting in shape is about eating less and moving more over a long enough period in time. Staying in shape is about rewiring your behavior, mindset, and identity. You have to become a new person with long-term habits that feel easy, natural, and on autopilot. This is only possible when you break your vices, deal with the reasons for the bad habits in the first place, and create a new lifestyle for yourself. This, by the way, is what I built my company RNT Fitness to be entirely designed for. To help you get in the best physical and mental shape of your life, then live in your sweet spot for decades after. We do this via our unique 5-phase methodology proven in 4,000 plus success stories. And if you'd like to see if you have what it takes to go through this journey, try our free quiz on www.rntfitness.com/transform, which is also linked in the description below. I'll see you on the next one.